Hi everybody, this is my TouchMath review. It's my presentation on the articles that I've read so far on TouchMath. My problem statement is students are experiencing a negative affect towards a multi-sensory based math curriculum called TouchMath. The students are struggling to understand the concepts TouchMath is designed to teach. What is the effectiveness of TouchMath when compared to other gesture-based math curriculums? That would be a question that I would be very interested in getting the answer to. This all comes from my own personal experience using TouchMath in the classroom with kids with learning disabilities. I've seen their negative affect and that of the teachers as well. So what is TouchMath? First of all, TouchMath is a gesture-based math curriculum that's designed to be more interactive. So students are using their hands, they're saying things, they're touching. So it's basically just counting by touching the dots. So you'll count as you go, and then the circles and dots, that's 2. So for 6, 7, 8, 9, you're counting those doubly. So this is the foundation of pretty much all the TouchMath curriculum, and it's what I used in my classroom. So it is a gesture-based curriculum. It's multi-sensory, which is really important for kids with learning disabilities. It's pretty widely adopted in SPED rooms, resource rooms, and regular ed rooms. TouchMath is also the name of the company that owns TouchMath, the curriculum, and they sell their curriculum to schools and school districts and home schools, things like that. So who's TouchMath for? Well, TouchMath can be for a lot of different people. It's for kindergarten through 2nd grade as far as their standard standards-based curriculum, and then they also have their SPED curriculum, which is a variety of things, but it goes all the way from counting to division. It's for high achievers or kids struggling with math, or even for kids with autism. So why use TouchMath? TouchMath is a good alternative option for most teachers. Say that they're teaching math through traditional means, out of a textbook, on the whiteboard, whatever, and some of their students just aren't getting it. They might use TouchMath then, or if you're in a life skills room, you might just implement TouchMath in one-on-ones. Basically, TouchMath is for anyone struggling with math. So, why would a teacher want TouchMath? TouchMath provides a lot of tools for teachers. Provide free training. They've got videos, posters, manipulatives, worksheets. They've got a bunch of stuff that teachers would need to create if they didn't have TouchMath. So it's also a pretty old model. It's been around since 1975, so over 40 years. So TouchMath has a lot of proponent research, or a lot of research that has found TouchMath to be significantly effective. I'd like to say though that there isn't a lot of research outside of reviews. Almost all the articles I found were reviews of TouchMath. It was implemented, it was a pre-post test model, and then implemented, and then they would find TouchMath to be significantly effective at increasing scores. And that was pretty much what I saw. There was a couple variations on that, and then there was only a few that weren't that model. So I chose articles for this presentation that were on students with learning disabilities because that's why I got into TouchMath and it had the most bearing for me. But okay, so Sharon Bergman, she did a study on TouchMath with I think only 2 weeks time and one classroom, and she gave TouchMath to second graders, I believe, and she found TouchMath to be significantly effective at increasing their scores for math. For the second one, Dr. Barry, did the same thing, but he did it with only 3 students, and they all had been labeled with autism. They were a little bit older, 4th or 5th grade. The last one, it found TouchMath to be more effective at intervention than traditional methods. So this was one of the rare cases where TouchMath was compared against something. But it was kind of an odd article, and I'll go into that in a little bit. So, articles that found TouchMath to be not effective, I could not find any. I did not find any articles where in the conclusion or discussion they mentioned anything negative or not statistically significant about TouchMath, which was odd. It raised a couple red flags for me. So I thought that that this was odd, and I was looking at TouchMath's website, and they do offer financial compensation for all the articles that are published in their own publication, and I thought that was odd. I don't know if that's commonplace or not, but I started kind of trying to read between the lines, and I found a couple quotes in the conclusions of these 2 articles. So this one says, the mere fact that TouchMath is a multi-sensory technique for solving math problems makes it an excellent tool. So I took that to mean that just the fact that it was multi-sensory made it different and better for kids with learning disabilities, and nothing special about the actual TouchMath. And this was another snippet from a conclusion. An alternate curriculum may prove successful. So there isn't an alternate curriculum that really does what TouchMath does. So that was a little bit odd that they mentioned that. No discussion, no conclusion really in this paper. They just had some test scores. They didn't really do any statistical analysis. They didn't do much of anything. They just said that TouchMath was effective. And then they used a lot of biased language also that was odd for a research paper. They said that TouchMath had easy to use guides. They said that the students were like very ecstatic and it was their first time ever experiencing success in school, which can't be true because these were 4th or 5th graders, and I know that this study wasn't 5 or 6 years long. So okay, so I was able to find one comparison on TouchMath's own site in their own publication, and it compared Numberline strategy to TouchMath, which is technically a gesture-based math curriculum, but it's not nearly as engaging as TouchMath. Even though TouchMath isn't that engaging, the Numberline strategy is pretty minimal, and it doesn't rely on the same principle that TouchMath does. TouchMath relies on counting, for addition and subtraction, and the number line strategy relies on you have to find the number first on the number line, and then you have to find the difference in space, which is kind of a visual thing instead of a touch thing. Research questions. Is touch math still the most effective curriculum for teaching basic math skills to young students with learning disabilities? Touch math has been out for over 40 years, and there doesn't seem to be any new prevailing curriculum, so I think that there's room for that to grow. Touch math compared to maybe newer multisensory math curriculum that new technology is able to provide, or some new insight from research. I think that touch math could be compared to something that's as engaging or more engaging, and then I'd like to see the significance of touch math in those situations. I think that comparing touch math to traditional curriculum or to number line curriculum isn't a fair comparison, and it doesn't really answer the question, is touch math a good curriculum for these students? It just answers that it's better than the other one. So, why is it important to answer these questions? So, in conclusion, I think that it's important because teachers who teach students that have disabilities, learning disabilities, who struggle with math have a really tough job, and they deserve all the tools that we can give them to make their job easier and make it easier for the students to learn the information. I think it's what they deserve. I think it's the only equitable solution for them. And I also saw in the research in a lot of articles, they mentioned this huge benefit from succeeding for the first time, or very rarely succeeding, and then succeeding in math and accomplishing a math goal that they hadn't thought that they could do. And this was a big factor for students and for teachers too. It's important that students see that they're succeeding and that they can do it, and that teachers feel like that they're doing a good job teaching. I think that this could bring a big change in affect towards math and even school as a whole for these kids, and bring that to the teachers as well, so that they can take more pride in their work. So for those reasons, I think that it's important to find the answers to these questions. So thank you.